Thank you guys so much for joining our Wednesday night chat. Tonight we're going to be talking about Triplex. I know for a fact all of you, that's what you started in your welcome packs with, and generally what I recommend to the vast majority of my customers also, because it targets the three things that people really complain about the most, or the three root causes of what people complain about the most with their health, and that is gut health, inflammation, and blood sugar regulation. Most of the things that people, and you can attest to this for sure, a lot of the health benefits that you all personally have reaped by starting and continuing with Plexus can be traced back to one of those three things. And again, those are gut health, inflammation, and blood sugar regulation. So we're going to dive right in. I'm going to offer a few tips right in the beginning to help coach your customers and also future ambassadors to have success with the products. First and foremost, you're not going to like anything, and I tell people this straight up, that they're not going to like the products if they don't drink water. We always tell people as a guideline to keep your water intake around half of the, trying to get this out in English. I can type it much better than I can say it in person. Half your body weight in ounces of water. So say you're 120 pounds. That means that you're drinking or shooting to drink 60 ounces of water every day. Now, it sounds like a lot to a lot of people, and it is a lot of water if you're not very good initially about drinking water. And that's okay. Just shoot for that 60 ounces mark. But you want to get as close as humanly possible to that mark so that your body's most efficiently rinsing itself out. And we'll just keep it there, rinsing itself out and eliminating the way that you're supposed to, both in the number one way and in the number two ways. We want both of those things to happen. And later this call, we will be talking about poop. So get ready, stay tuned. So stay hydrated. That is our number one tip. We want to start there. Half your weight in water in ounces. You'll get some funny responses there. I think I've had some of my favorite conversations with people when we talk about water intake. It just cracks me up every time. Another good tip is eat better, not necessarily less. It doesn't mean that you have to go on some crazy restrictive diet. You know, I have to stick to 800 calories. I literally heard everything, you guys. So obviously we're not nutritionists, we're not doctors, we're not nurses. I mean, maybe we represent Plexus. We're not doctors. We're just friends of people who want to feel better. And so just being smarter about what we eat, eating a well-rounded, less processed foods. It's always going to be good for our bodies. A good trick that Emily Roberts passed on to me was finding a protein calculator, finding how much is appropriate for your body weight, and not necessarily concentrating on the amount of calories that you should be taking in every day, but finding the different kind of macronutrients that your body naturally should be taking in according to what your goals are reasonably for your body. Poop, really quick. We'll get into this really quickly right now, but we'll talk about it more in depth in a second when we talk about BioCleanse. But we should be eliminating between 2 and 4 times a day. I was pooping once a week before Plexus. You guys, that's not okay. But that's really common. So I've learned in talking to people about poop, and it's just not okay. 2 to 4 times, and that's really dependent on your diet, your movement levels, how often you're working out, those kinds of things, how much you are drinking of water, and what you're taking in, your protein levels, that kind of thing. Also, reading label. Oh, poop really fast. You can tell I really like that word. They should also be between 12 and 18 inches long. A healthy poop should be. What? That's insane. I mean, don't bust out the measuring tape for God's sake, but like, seriously, it's about 1 foot long. That's crazy. I didn't know that either. If they're as for reference, if they're about the size of your pinky, that's also not okay. They should be longer. They should be really hearty, good sized poops. Another tip, read labels. Did you know that there's 57 different words for sugar? 57. If you guys just Google them, there's, I'll link it after the Zoom call's over. When I post it onto the team page, I'll link the article, but there are 57 words. And so this link will walk you through each and every one of them. Reading and knowing what is in your food is going to serve you so well. Fake dyes, processed ingredients, things that you can or cannot recognize. Those are all going to bring you success if you know what you're putting in your body. If you do, you can make smart choices. Education, I firmly believe, is the #1 success tip for anything. So educating yourself is going to be huge, not just for your knowledge bank, but to be able to pass on that information to customers and or your future team. An awesome documentary is Fed Up. It's on Netflix. It will change the way you think about food. If you haven't watched that already, you will want to go into your pantry and throw everything away. There's sugar. When I was learning about a lot of processed ingredients, and this has been very recently, I didn't know that there was sugar in bread. You guys, I'm a bread fanatic. Toasted bread, not toasted bread, I don't care. I want it. And so I was taking in way too much sugar just because of my bread intake. And then I was getting Starbucks. Do you know how much sugar is in Starbucks? There's a lot. So no wonder why I was gaining a mad amount of weight. So just knowing what you're putting in your body, a lot of times we just drink it because we think we're young and we can process it and all of these things, but just know what you're drinking, know what you're eating. Okay, let's dive right in. Soapbox aside, Triplex, here we go. We all know and love this baby. This is Slim. This is my powerhouse. This is what I saw the biggest change with. I cannot be without this. Well, I can't be without it. I've seen a big difference with all of these things. I'm like backpedaling now. Slim is awesome. We all know it. We all love it. So if you guys don't know my story really quick, I'll buzz through it. I have PCOS. And I had no idea that PCOS and blood sugar were related, not even a little bit. And so when I started taking Plexus, I hadn't had a period in 10 weeks. Started taking the products consistently like I was, told to. I had a period within 14 days. It was insane, like all of a sudden. And when I would have a period out of the blue, before I started the products, I would have really painful periods, so much so that they would make me puke and I would have to call off of work and have migraines and all of these things closely related to blood sugar regulation, but I had no idea that the two were correlated. And so jumping right into blood sugar regulation, you guys, chromium and chlorogenic acid and ALAs, there's alpha lipoic acid, and Garcinia cambogia are the 4 main ingredients in this, you guys, that are going to, in tandem, going to tackle the things that Plexus says or Plexus Slim is going to help with. And those things are fat burning. It's going to burn your fat and preserve the muscle. And regulate healthy lipid and cholesterol levels. For a lot of people, that is huge. How many people do you know on your immediate friends list that battle with those things every day? They take medication. So again, those ingredients, and I really want you guys to study these because they are the lifeblood and really the cornerstone of what makes Plexus Slim so effective. Again, those are chromium, ALA, and that's a lot easier to say than alpha lipoic acid, but ALAs, chlorogenic acid, and Garcinia cambogia. I'll go over those really briefly, but I really want you guys to dig in deep and know those ingredients. I'm a detail, I'll say it, I'm a detail WHORE. Mel, I don't know if your kids are within earshot and I don't want to say bad words, but I love knowing any little detail. I love knowing the ins and the outs of the things that I'm not only taking, but recommending and promoting to my friends and family. So those 4 things, if you guys can know those ingredients in Slim inside and out, you'll be golden. Those are the things that mainly people will have questions about. So knowing those things will be beneficial to you and your knowledge. So chromium is the ingredient that really helps to regulate the blood sugar. It helps move the blood sugar from the bloodstream into cells to be used as energy. Instead of storing the glucose as fat, it helps move it out. And so your body uses that as your energy source instead of storing it, like I said, as fat. Because none of us want that to happen, do we? That's why partially we are taking Plexus, some of us. It also turns fats, carbs, and protein into energy. So it helps your body efficiently use those macro ingredients, or macronutrients rather, into energy. It helps your body efficiently run and not stop and crash. Just helps turn those things into energy. Chromium is also the thing that helps to burn fat and preserve muscle. Meatheads, gym rats, those people are going to eat that fact up, and you can tell them that that's exactly what does it. Guys are so scared of the pink drink. I don't know. They're not going to grow boobs, but they are afraid that it will make them. But you can tell them that they're not going to. It's for guys too, I promise. That it's tasty. You can attest to that. But also that it's for males and females. But you can just let them know, and usually this is their one and only selling point, that it burns fat and preserves muscle. So all of their hard work in the gym is not going to be for naught, that it's going to help them get to their fitness and weight loss goals that much faster, because it burns fat, and it helps them lean out in that way too. When blood sugar is stabilized, I don't know if you guys have done any research on this, but when your blood sugar is regulated, these are your benefits. Your energy is going to be upped, and it's going to be level, and it's going to reach something called homeostasis, where it just rides this even keel plane into the sunset. Hunger is controlled, so you're not going to want to snack all the time. Moods are stable. Glucose is the thing that fuels our nervous system. So that means, what does that look like? It means that your hormones are going to level out. Hello. I was so surprised when my period just showed up after 2 weeks of, it was actually like 13 days actually. After 10 weeks of not having a period, and all of a sudden 2 weeks into these products, literally the only thing, you guys, that has changed was the Plexus products. When your blood sugar is regulated, so your hormones. Insulin is the ticket to that. And when your insulin levels are in check and dialed in, then things will run the way they're supposed to. Your moods will be stabilized. Your lady hormones will run the way that they're supposed to. Anxiety will diminish. You'll be more mentally alert. That mom brain fog situation, totally taken care of. You'll be more focused. You'll see an increased lean muscle mass, and your metabolism will, I don't want to say spike, because that also insinuates that there will be a valley also, but it'll start to level out. And you'll also see reduced sugar cravings. Chlorogenic acid, that comes from green coffee bean extract. When people say or voice their concerns over the caffeine content, you guys, if you flip the package of Slim over and look at this handy little nutrition facts chart, you'll see that it says 2%. Am I saying the right thing? 2% natural caffeine. Thank goodness. I was second guessing myself. But that is less than the amount that's in half a cup of decaf coffee. So that's why a lot of OBGYNs or pediatricians will tell nursing and even pregnant moms that it's okay, and they give the green light to them, because there's that little caffeine in it, and it's from such an organic and non-processed source that a lot of physicians don't have a problem giving the thumbs up to their patients. Chlorogenic acid also helps with blood pressure, cholesterol, and also helps the liver to burn fat. And that's chlorogenic also is what boosts the metabolism by helping the liver do its job. That's what boosts your metabolism. Next, I want to talk about BioCleanse. This is where we get to talk about poo. So again, I'm going to just say it again, 12 inches to 18 inches. Again, don't measure your poop because that'll get messy, but you guys, that is what we want to aim for. That is crazy. I've never known that your bowels should be a certain size. That's insane. This is recent, so that's why I'm so fired up about that little factoid. But I'm going to tell people, that's my new tagline, talking about the size of poops. BioCleanse, you guys, hero. 95%, BioCleanse is going to supply you with 95% of the magnesium that you need to get to be properly magnesiumed, I guess, or to reach your proper magnesium levels. And most of America is deficient in magnesium, which is dangerous because what happens is that your immune system depends on magnesium. Also things like brain fog, and I have really good notes. I'm going to flip to that really quick. It also, when you're magnesium deficient, you'll experience muscle aches and spasms, poor digestion. You'll also feel anxious, and you'll also have trouble sleeping. All of those things are very common with people that are magnesium deficient. And once they start taking BioCleanse, that's one of the first things that they see benefits from. Also, when people are magnesium deficient, they'll also see things like behavioral disorder, nutrient deficiencies, headaches or migraines, kidney or liver damage, or even failure when it's really extreme. Osteoporosis, ladies, we really have to focus on that one. We're so prone to it. Magnesium helps with PMS. I love that. Recurrent bacterial and fungal infections, which is huge. Kids are germ sponges, and so this is one of my favorite things to talk to parents about, especially nursing moms, where they pass on breast milk. When the breast milk is full of nutrients and good things to pass on to baby's immune system also is stronger. One of the coolest things and one of the newest things that I've learned about BioCleanse is that we have all talked about BioCleanse oxygenating your bloodstream, and that is important. Why, Jen? I will tell you. Oxygenation of the bloodstream is important for alkalinization. I think I'm saying it right. When your bloodstream is at the correct pH, that means that disease cannot thrive. When your bloodstream is too acidic or too alkaline, things like, I hate saying the C word because it just feels like a dirty word, but cancers can thrive. Lots of different diseases can manifest. But if you oxygenate that bloodstream and bring it to the pH that is proper for function, disease can't thrive. If you look at blood that has been oxygenated properly, it is a beautiful bright red color. If you see blood that has not been properly oxygenated, it is dark and it is like a brownish red. So we want that bright, beautiful red color running through our veins. Vitamin C is another awesome benefit. Just, I know you guys know, but this is BioCleanse. Flipping it over on the back, you'll see all of what I'm talking about. One of the things that's listed is ascorbic acid. Topically and to take internally is a supplement it's vitamin C essentially. But we all know vitamin C to be an immune booster. And also something that helps to strengthen the collagen that already exists in your skin, but also to produce new, strong, and healthy collagen, which translates to beautiful, glowing skin. But also trace that back to something that people everywhere, women especially, I think we're also concerned with, obviously, vanity, but we have to think about cellulite. BioCleanse, because it helps boost healthy collagen, it also helps with cellulite. So squat some, take some BioCleanse. We're looking fresh. Moving on to my favorite, I have to talk ProBio 5, and I'm going to spend a good amount of time on this because I love grossing people out, and that's why I got so excited with the measured poop fact. But ProBio 5, you guys, that's this beautiful baby right here. It is literally better than any other probiotic on this market, and I have no problem telling people that when I'm talking to them about Triplex, because it is true. If you compare it to anything else that's on the shelves or in the refrigerated section in Trader Joe's or wherever you shop, you will find and you will know, if you know your ingredients at all, you will know without a shadow of a doubt that ProBio is superior. And I will talk about why. So when I'm talking about a ProBio to anybody, or Triplex at all, I always ask them if they know what Candida yeast is. If you guys don't know, please find out, but I will tell you briefly. Candida is a yeast that is naturally found in your lower GI tract and also in your mouth, and also, girls, in our lady parts. At normal levels, it is very beneficial to digestion and just a general homeostasis, generally fully head to toe of body's functioning. It's only dangerous when it overgrows. And that's what ProBio helps with, is to rebalance the good levels of bacteria in our gut. When you're talking about Candida to your customers, your potentials, start out by asking if they know what Candida is. A lot of times, I would say 8 times out of 10, people will say no. Or they'll joke because they think they're comedians, and they will tell you, yes, because I follow you on Facebook. Well, good, then I'm doing my job. But Candida, you guys, is overgrown in most people, to tell you the truth, and that's what causes all kinds of things like constipation, diarrhea, lack of sleep, brain fog, you name it, it can be traced back to an imbalanced gut. And so the reason why ProBio is so effective is because it has 5 strains of bacteria, all of which are labeled or represented on the back of the label on the bottle. So please familiarize yourself with those. Also an enzyme, and this is where the main point of difference between a lot of probiotics out there and ProBio 5 is the fact that we have an enzyme to dissolve the outer waxy coating of the Candida yeast. If people try to do an elimination diet to get rid of their Candida overgrowth, it is effective, but it takes a very long time to eliminate Candida just by diet alone. You need help. That's why we supplement, right? That's why we need the enzyme in ProBio 5, and it is called, and I'm going to butcher this. I've tried to practice saying this name. I think it's pronounced, I'm going to spell it, CHITOSINASE. Chidot. Whatever, that's how you spell it. I'm not even going to try because I'm going to sound dumb. That is the enzyme that dissolves the outer shell and kills off the extra fungus that we do not need in our gut. When you have an overgrowth, you guys, of this Candida, it will literally drill holes. It'll eat holes or proliferate holes through your bowel, allowing unfiltered toxins to get into your bloodstream. That is what causes all of the symptoms that your people are coming to you with. I have migraines. I deal with IBS. All of these different things, that is why. Because they have an imbalanced gut that allows poop to get into your bloodstream. It affects everything. Everything. Do your research on an imbalanced gut. I know you guys have. Continue to do so because it is so impactful when you have a balanced gut. So what happens when the enzyme dissolves? The fungus will die. That's why it's so important that those 5 strains of bacteria are represented within ProBio 5 to healthily replace and regenerate healthy gut flora. If not, you'll see lots of side effects if your body isn't, well, I mean, just like when people come to you asking what an imbalanced gut does, you can, show them your research. But that's why it's so important that we talk about the differences of the different strains of bacteria. ProBio 5. Oh, Sorry, I get so worked up. Probio makes me so excited. So the fungus is dying off. We're eliminating, right? Our diet's dialed in, taking probio in the way that we need to. We're replenishing the gut flora that is effective in gut balance. BioCleanse and probio are a power couple, okay? So you're taking probio, it's killing off the fungus is going away, so the holes are repairing itself in the intestines. What is BioCleanse doing? It's detoxing gently your GI tract. So the dead fungus that's floating around in the bloodstream and in your lower intestine, it's being eliminated properly. You don't want that stuff floating around in your bloodstream, you guys, or in the lower GI tract. You don't want it being absorbed back into, your system. Because what happens when the fungus dies, it releases the toxins that sit within the walls of the waxy substance like we were talking about earlier. So when the toxins are released, it just goes back into your bloodstream, sometimes making us sick. And if you guys have heard the term die-off symptoms or candida die-off, that's exactly what that's referring to. A lot of times people will experience dull headaches or flu-like symptoms, and that's exactly what die-off is. So it's very important to stay on top of water, like we were talking about at the very beginning, and then also BioCleanse, gently sweeping everything away and eliminating like we should be. Together, those things work synergistically. People ask if they can just get probio. You can, but you're not going to see as big of a benefit as if you pair it with BioCleanse. You're not going to see, energy go up unless you take those two, and you're really going to see energy go through the roof and stabilize until you incorporate Plexus Slim. All three, as we know, are really the powerhouse and the core of what we do and bring to our people, because they are awesome and we love them and we want them to feel as good as we do. And we know that we feel good because we are consistent with our products. We are a product of the product. I think I covered everything. Like I say, you guys, I get so excited over things, and sometimes I forget to talk about different facts that I have made notes for myself. But I think I did really cover everything this time. If you guys have any questions, you can unmute yourself, and I will answer anything that you have. If you have any product questions, troubleshooting things that you're running into with customers, that's cool too. So if you'd like, you can unmute yourself and answer any questions, or we can talk about anything.
I think it's really important too to talk about the die-off with people who are trying it.
Yeah.
Just because mine was so bad, like hot flashes and headaches, and it was nasty for like 3 days.
Yeah.
And if, I wouldn't have known what that actually was, I would have just thought, oh my gosh, this stuff is the opposite of helpful.
Yeah, we definitely don't want, people to feel like it's making them sicker. I had a customer when I very first started promoting Plexus that was taking Triplex, and she had severe die-off. She suffered from migraines, was actually medicated, taking medication to help her with her migraines. And she, with the help of her doctor, mind you, she, was fractioning her dosages. And so her migraines came back with a vengeance. She said that she was really able to control them and stuff. But anyway, she's experiencing really, really crazy die-off symptoms. And it made me really sad because I wanted to encourage her to keep going. But she was really scared and really frustrated that this may be, the thing that was making her sick. And so I was doing research and really digging in deep and trying to find out a solution. And that's exactly what she was experiencing, was die-off. Plexus Slim by itself can cause die-off. It detoxes your fat cells, doing the same thing like we were talking about probio does, in that it squeezes out all the nasty stuff that's within the cell walls of your fat cells. And so that gets into your bloodstream and can make you feel ill. But I encourage people deeply, as you probably found, Mel, to just push through it. I know it's so hard, and it's hard to want to do that, but it's so important if you really want to target those things. A tip that I have to pass on, it's not uncommon for people to feel more sick before it gets better, of course, encourage them. Be good about follow-ups, because if you don't, and they start to feel sick, they're not going to have your guidance just because you don't know that they are feeling sick. So be good about follow-ups, but also, I do have to pass this on. I don't like to tell people straight away when you're advising them on what products to take and how. I don't like just coming out with the scary information of die-off, because it can scare people away and turn them off to the whole thing. They've already put their trust in you and talking about their health concerns with you. If you feel like they're a good, person to talk to about die-off, then absolutely do. Just say, this might happen. It happened slightly to me. And I'm here to help you through whatever. But I usually save that information till the couple days after they've messaged me and told me that they've gotten their products, just so that they're not freaked out when they hit that order button. Because I've had that happen too. So just fair warning, that's my advice. But it is really good to be informed and just to know that that's a possibility. I'm glad you're feeling better though, Mel. I'm sorry that you went through that.
Oh, it's good, because it's a million times more amazing now.
Good, yeah.
No.
That's good. Yeah, it's so frustrating when you're excited about starting to take things, especially you, like it took you so long, to really like jump in, and you're like, man, I feel sick. What the heck? And now what? Like, should I stop? I don't know. But you did the right thing, obviously, and pushed through. So.
Yeah. And I had looked up, Canada die-off before. I had a friend who went through it severe. Like you said, the elimination diet, she did that. She eliminated everything. And then she was so frustrated because it took her almost a year or something. I don't know if you're friends with her on Facebook. A couple of mine are. She's a Beachbody coach, but she's went through forever. And then she got like a parasite in her bowel. It was like one after another. And I wasn't doing Plexus yet. But in my mind, I was like, I think there's something for that. Like, you should be doing something more. This doctor you're with, he's not giving you all the answers. But yeah, she's broken through it now, but I can't imagine going through months of it, where I went through 3 days.
Yeah. A die-off's gnarly, you guys. I just had like a dull headache probably for like 3 days maybe. But that wasn't uncommon. Like I said before, I suffered from migraines constantly, like one a week at least. And so a dull headache was nothing in comparison to what I was going through. So I didn't think anything of it. And then I was talking to Jennifer Brett, and she was asking me how I was feeling taking the products. And I'd mentioned, and she's like, oh yeah, that's probably just your body like detoxing and eliminating what it doesn't need. And I was like, oh, maybe I should like learn about this. Because unless you go through it, you don't really even consider it. So yeah, it is good to read up on for sure. Do you guys have any product questions? You guys are all really good about researching, but is there anything specific that you'd like to know? Not that you can think of, maybe?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm going to, Steph, do you have anything to add? Take away, multiply, divide, ask? It's just the three of us tonight, so don't be shy.
I do, but I can't think of it right now.
Okay.
There was something when you're talking about vitamin C, I just remember from skincare.
Yep.
Free radicals basically go in and they poke holes in your skin, not your skin, in cells. They weaken them.
Mm-hmm.
And antioxidants like ascorbic acid / vitamin C go in and fill the holes and protect them. So, like, if you weren't sure those terms and how they worked.
Yeah.
Well, not you, but any, like, generic person.
Yeah, you generically. I gotcha. That is really good knowledge to have for sure. A lot of what is applied on the skin, not physically applied like lotions and stuff, but a lot of things like sciencey things about the skin can also be applied internally, because organ, or your skin is an organ. So a lot of what applies to your skin is also applied internally. We just don't think about it that way because we don't see what's going on in there. But exactly what Steph was talking about. Vitamin C is so hugely important to immune function, but also in disease prevention. And a lot of people don't think about that. They're like, well, it's just going to prevent the flu or the common cold, blah, blah, blah. Or I'm going to take vitamin C only when I'm not feeling well, or when, I take a Coldies or whatever the heck, or my Costco chewable, whatever it is. That's my dad, by the way. But taking it consistently and on a daily basis is going to strengthen long-term your immune system and neutralize the free radicals that do break down and long-term cause diseases. So that's a really good thing to research and know. Something else that I learned a long time ago, and I'm going to pull these out, is a word called bioflavonoids. Now, I never really knew. Mel, I'm going to have you jump in on this because this is something I know that you're really knowledgeable about. But bioflavonoids come from citrus fruits and is something that's in BioCleanse, but it's something that it's really cool to pass this information off. Bioflavonoids are anti-inflammatory, anti-allergic, and antimicrobial, which is why BioCleanse is so effective with symptoms that stem from that. What do you know about bioflavonoids, Mel?
What I know is my counselor was super stoked about it. I showed her and she was like, oh, I'm going to give you all of my research on this stuff. So that's going to be this week where she's supposed to use everything she's learned about it. But she's like, it's, even, antimicrobial and all of those, but even down to like anxiety, she was like, this is perfect for you. This is, we were just doing a seminar on this, so it's really funny you bring this in. And she was like, there's a reason why this is working for you so quickly and so well. And so this week is really when I'll get all the information from her.
Yeah.
But she was just so excited about that. Whereas my naturopath was so excited about the magnesium for anxiety and the depression and stuff. So it's just together.
I love it.
I know.
So good.
I was like, she had the weirdest arm, and then I realized it was her baby's head.
Yeah. He is all over the place.
I was like, wow,
that's awesome.
Now
maybe you should go get that checked out at the doctor while you're there.
I don't think magnesium's going to fix that one.
No.
Oh, I just love you girls. All right. I'm going to close up shop with a minute left. I need to upgrade this whole ish because we talk too much. So it only limits us to like a 40-minute Zoom call, and almost always do we hit that time. So anyway, thank you guys so much for the chat. You guys are amazing. If you guys need anything, as always, I'm here for you. But thanks again for joining our Wednesday night chats. We'll see you next time.